Hello everyone and welcome to the Kiki London YouTube channel. My name is Amanda and in today's video we're going to be doing a salon friendly nail art design using a couple of the colours from the new exotic summer collection. And I also decided I would do this design on my own nails. So for this set I have already applied some press on nails and I've just buffed off the shine before coming in with my base coat. And for my base coat I'm going to be using the rubber coloured base in 03. Now if you are working on top of press-on nails, you don't necessarily need to apply a base coat, but I like to apply one as I find it gives me a really nice smooth surface to work on top of, especially if you have buffed off the shine from your press-on nails. It is advisable to buff off the shine because sometimes gel won't stick to a shiny surface, so for good adherence it's always good to buff off that shiny coat and then apply your layer of base coat. So I'm going to pop that in to cure for 60 seconds and I love this colour. It's a really nice soft natural peachy pink shade, and as you can see I've done that on all of my nails. So starting off we're going to be beginning with an ombre. So I'm going to use tea rose with the beautiful exotic mango. Now I don't usually go for yellow when I'm working on my own nails, but I was really feeling a yellow set because I've loved exotic mango. Rather than being an in your face full on summery yellow, it's got that bit of a warm orange tone to it, so I thought it was absolutely beautiful. And I really wanted to give it a go in an ombre. So I'm going to use a tea rose for my nude. And as you can see, I'm applying that down roughly, I'm taking it roughly 3/4 of the way down the nail, and I'm trying to be really careful around that cuticle area. I did get a little bit of gel polish around the cuticle, so I'm just cleaning that off with my angled nail art brush and a little bit of alcohol. Then I've come in with that exotic mango at the tip of the nail and I've pushed it up so it meets the tea rose. Then I'm going to take my ombre brush and start blending these two colours together. So I'm starting off by just blending right where the two colours meet. This is going to help soften that harsh line between the two colours. And then every time that you see my brush go out of shot, I'm just wiping it off on one of the Kiki London alcohol pads. Keeping your brush clean is a must when you are doing an ombre because it stops you taking any colour where you don't want it to be. So once I had softened out the colour where the two colours meet, I take that colour down into the nude and then I clean off my brush and then take it up into the yellow, just so there's a nice transition between the nude at the cuticle area, a lighter shade of yellow in the middle, and then we've still got that bright exotic mango at the tip of the nail. I always like to check regularly when I'm doing an ombre. You want to make sure that you're not over blending the colours together so they're merging together too much. And I also want to make sure I cleaned up the nude a little bit more as well because I had taken that ombre a little bit far down. So the first coat of an ombre never looks perfect. Don't stress too much about getting your first coat perfect. Just get those colours blended together as neat as possible. You kind of perfect your blend on your second coat. So I'm doing exactly the same as before, coming in with the tea rose, getting a nice neat cuticle area, cleaning up if necessary, taking that down roughly halfway to 3/4 of the way down the nail. But this time when I applied the exotic mango, I didn't push it all the way up to the tea rose because I found it to be quite pigmented and I didn't want to take that yellow as far down as what I had done on the first coat. I just didn't apply as much. And then I'm going to use my ombre brush to bring the two colours together in the centre, and the same as before, just blending out that harsh line where the two colours meet. I'm using quite light feathery strokes with the very tip of the ombre brush. I do find the ombre brush makes ombres really easy, and it does help that the Kiki London colours have a really nice consistency. They're all quite creamy, so I find a lot of the colours that I've tried blend together effortlessly. Once I've blended out the centre, again, just take it a little bit down into the tea rose and then take that centre colour up into the exotic mango. And then I'm always checking and just coming over any areas where I feel need a little bit of blending. And then before curing, I do always leave that to stand for around a few seconds just to help those brush lines merge out. Now, if I was doing this and I wasn't recording, I would have been working on the next nail whilst I was waiting for that brush line to sort of blur out. I did do exactly the same on the ring finger off camera because I wanted these two nails to be quite similar in the set. Now I wanted to add some foils to this set. So here I have the Floral Mix Foils. Now I absolutely love these floral foils for the summer. I feel like I used them so much last summer and I've been really excited to get them out this one. Just look how gorgeous the yellows are. So of course, to apply our foils, we're going to use the Kiki London Foil Gel. So I'm going to apply a thin coat of this to all the nails that I want to apply my foils to. So both of those ombre nails. And you will see when we come in and apply our foil gel, it's a lot like applying a top coat. And when you apply that over an ombre, it blurs out any lines or brush lines that you have got left. Any unevenness is all going to be softened. So if you've done your second coat of ombre and you're still not 100% happy with it, pop a top coat over it and you'll see that it makes a lot of difference. So here I've applied a thin coat of that foil gel. I've covered the entire nails, even though we're not going to be applying foils to all of the nails, just to get a nice even coat of colour down, or foil gel down, sorry. And then I've popped that in to cure for 30 seconds. And then as soon as that's come out of my LED lamp, I'm pressing down my foil. So I don't want to cover the entire nail in the foil. So I've just cut out a small section, including 2 of the flowers that I want to use. I went for these beautiful sunflowery kind of looking ones. I thought they were just fun for the lovely weather that we've currently been having. So then I'm going to take my silicone tool and I kind of mix between using my silicone tool and my finger just to get a really good contact between the foil and the foil gel. And then I always like to very slowly peel back that foil just to make sure it has all transferred. Any areas that haven't transferred, you can stick it back down and re-rub. And that's why I like to peel back slowly. So that way you're not completely removing the foil, so it's easy to lay back down if you need to. And then we're going to do the same again on the ring finger. So I'm just working out roughly where I want to place that foil. So I'm just being careful that I don't hit it down onto the nail until I'm happy where I want it to be placed. Because the moment that foil hits the foil gel, it is going to stick. And then you're going to have to remove it and reapply your foil gel if you wasn't happy of how it's placed. So just be careful when you're lining up where you want your foils to go. Once it has made good contact, I start rubbing with my silicone tool and then very gently peeling off. And look how well these foils transfer. They are absolutely gorgeous and so easy to use. Now I did get a few little areas of foil where I didn't want them to be. So just taking a little bit of alcohol on my angled nail art brush, I'm just giving it a good clean up. You do need to apply a little bit of pressure just to get that to be removed from the nail. If you find it doesn't come off with alcohol, you can use a teeny tiny bit of acetone, but I prefer to use alcohol because then it's not breaking down any of your gel polish underneath. On to the pointer finger, I'm going to come in and apply a full coat of that tea rose. I love tea rose. It's one of my absolute favourite nudes and I'm really loving it with the Exotic Summer collection because all of the colours in that collection are quite bright. So when you team it with a nice soft and subtle nude, it doesn't take your attention away from those bright colours. And as you can see, it's just a really, really pretty natural looking colour. So I've applied my first coat and I'm going to cure that for 30 seconds. And then I'm going to come in with my second coat of colour just to get a nice even coverage. I do like to work quite thin with my Kiki colours because you really don't need to apply them thickly. A nice thin even coverage will give you a nice opacity and a really nice clean looking application. So once I've popped that in to cure for 30 seconds, we're going to do a really little hint subtle nail art on this nail. I wanted this to be quite a salon friendly design, so I wanted everything to be quite quick and easy to do. Personally, I find foils quite easy and quick to do if I'm using the Kiki London foil gel because I haven't yet had any problems with foils when using that foil gel. So then on this nail, I just wanted something soft and subtle that we could pair with it. So I've popped down Peri Nice, which is another colour from the Exotic Summer collection, and then I've got that Exotic Mango down on my palette as well. Then taking my dotting tool, I'm going to basically dot on these two colours, just going in a straight line down the nail. So I'm trying to keep it as straight as I could. It was a little bit wonky down at the cuticle area, but I still thought it looked quite nice, so I went with it. But I'm just alternating between those two colours. After I've applied one colour, I do wipe my dotting tool off on my alcohol pads, which is just out of shot, before dotting into the second colour, just because you don't want to be mixing those two colours. And even though you're dotting the colour down on the nail, you will still have a little bit left on your dotting tool. Now, I have done similar to this with a full nail, so kind of gives off that tie-dye effect, but I've been seeing this a lot lately on Instagram with just the one line going down the nail, and I quite like it because it adds that pop of nail art, but it's quite soft and subtle as well, and these colours from the Exotic Summer collection work brilliantly in my opinion for this kind of nail art. What I love about this collection is a lot of the colours pair absolutely beautiful together, like the Exotic Mango and the Peri Nice, just how gorgeous do they look. So once we had got those little dots down on the nail, I'm going to take my stripe liner brush and I'm very carefully going to drag through that wet gel polish. So this was the trickiest part. It is quite easy. It's just like one of those moments where you've got to hold your breath and just pull through in one fluent swoosh. And I loved how it looked. Really soft and really subtle, but I just love the effect that it gives off. So I'm going to cure that for 30 seconds, and this is what our design is looking like so far. I'm really, really loving the Exotic Mango with the Peri Nice. When I first swatched the colours, they weren't necessarily two colours I would have put together. I would have more put the Exotic Mango with the pinks and peaches that are in the collection, but I loved it with the Peri Nice. I really do love these bluey lilac colours combined with a yellow, so I'm glad I went for it. On the little finger, I wanted to keep this quite simple because I wanted to pull a little bit more of the Peri Nice into the set. So I'm just going to do a full nail of that colour. Whenever I'm working on my own nails, or back when I used to work on clients' nails as well, I always used to find that I left the little finger simple in a set of nails that had quite a lot of nail art, just because it helped toned down the set a little bit. So we're doing 2 full coats of the Peri Nice, and just look how gorgeous this colour is. It's such a striking colour that I think it does look beautiful on its own. It kind of just speaks for itself. Now again, whenever I'm working around that cuticle area, I do like to do a little bit of cleanup with my angled nail art brush, just to make sure there's none on the skin or cuticles before popping it into cure, because if you do end up curing it on the skin or cuticles, it can lead to overexposure and also cause your nails to lift. So on to the thumb now, I have already done 2 coats of tea rose, so we've got that same base that we had down on the pointer finger. And then I'm really loving this alternative French style nails at the moment. So I've done a few of these, but this one I wanted it to look a lot more simple. So rather than doing a French tip or colouring in the entire tip with 2 colours, which is what I usually do when I do these kind of swooshes, I'm just going to do the thin lines. So we're coming in with Peri Nice to begin with, and as you can see, I've just swooped it across the nail, kind of a bit like a half French. And then we're going to do exactly the same with the Exotic Mango, but just keeping it as a really thin line. And I don't know, they just give off a really fun, kind of trendy, modern French vibe in my opinion. And I'm really loving that look right now. And again, these 2 colours just looked absolutely gorgeous over that tea rose base. So I'm going to pop these in to cure for 30 seconds. I didn't feel as though they needed a second coat of colour because they looked really nice as they were. The colours pop still quite nicely over that nude base because the colours are very highly pigmented. So we're now ready to come in and top coat. So today I'm using my Kiki London No Wipe top coat. I'm just going to apply a thin coat of this to all of the nails, and it gives off an absolutely beautiful shine, which is exactly what you want when you're creating some salon nails, because of course your clients want to go away with a beautiful shiny set. Keeping this application quite thin and even. Usually when I'm working over any kind of nail art, like hand painted nail art or foils, I will usually use my rubber top coat, but I feel as though I don't reach for this one enough, so I wanted to make sure I share it with you guys as well, because it's an absolutely gorgeous top coat, and it's probably the most shiny top coat I own. It's definitely a tiny bit shinier than the rubber top coat, but like I said, I usually reach for the rubber top coat because I like how that seals in nail art, but this one is just that ever so slightly shinier. Just keeping it nice and thin, and I like to cap the free edge slightly as well. So sometimes you will see, if I don't feel as though my brush has got right around that free edge when I'm coating the surface, I'll just come along the edges with my brush. Once we have got that top coat applied, we're ready to pop these in for their final cure. I really, really love this set. I'm loving wearing them. I'm going to have to finish off my other hand so I have a full set of nails. But how gorgeous are they? So when I first pop my nails into top coat, once they come out, I do leave that top coat to cool just for a minute before coming in and applying my cuticle oil, because I find that way you keep the maximum shine you can from your top coat. So I'm going to take my cuticle oil and then just apply a small drop of this to all of the cuticles and really massage it in. It's really, really tricky to massage in cuticle oil when you're wearing gloves. It doesn't seem to want to massage into the skin, but I absolutely love the Kiki London cuticle oils because they really finish off a set of nails, especially when you're doing a client's nails. You want them to go away with a nice, soft and nourished cuticles after their treatment. So I'm really massaging and rubbing that in, and then what I normally would do is just wipe over the actual nails with an alcohol pad just to remove some of that excess oil before taking pictures. I didn't do it in the video, but that's what I normally would do, just so that they look a little less oily for your photos. Or you can just spend a little bit more time really massaging it in to the cuticles. Now I absolutely loved doing this set. They were really, really fun to do, and I think they look super, super pretty. So I hope you all enjoyed the video. As always, all of the products I use are linked in the description box below, so do check that out. If you did enjoy today's video, please do give it a thumbs up, leave us a comment below and hit that subscription button if you haven't already. I hope you all have a lovely weekend. Thank you so much for watching. Lots of love. Take care. Bye bye.